So this is my official soft launch announcement that I will be self-publishing in 2028. Actually, 2028 is tentative, but that's really what I am aiming for. Just know that it's coming. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelly. In this video, I'm going to give a lot of updates. I'm going to give writing updates, reading updates, some life updates. Obviously, I am moving. So yeah, lots to come in this video. Grab a drink. I have an iced coffee my hubby just made for me. And yeah, let's get started. We're going to talk about the self-publishing book first because I just made a big deal about it. I'm aiming for late spring of 2028. I don't want to say anything too much yet. I'm not going to talk about the cover or the title or the pen name or the genre. I mean, I don't even have a cover, the official cover. I'm still working with the artist on it, but it's looking so good. I'm so excited. I saw the initial sketches about a week and a half ago, gave her some notes, and I'm still giving her some notes. She's so great. I just asked her to give me maybe like a week to think about it, because the thing with me and creativity, it's not like work where you can just like, well, for me, when it comes to like my day job, I can just do the thing without having to think further, if that makes sense. But creativity is not like that for me. Like, things really need to seep in. So I asked her if she could give me like a few more days, kind of a week, to give more feedback, because you know, you get charged every time you make additional changes. I mean, I'll do it if I have to, but I just wanted like to really think about it, think about the cover and how it reflects what I want it to convey. So I'm gonna send her my second round of notes, like I think right after I make this video, just like a few more things. But ultimately, I'm really excited. I really feel like she captured exactly what I wanted her to, just based on some descriptions. So like, amazing work on her end, and yeah, it's happening. So because it's happening, and of course when you're indie published and not working with anyone, I decided to send my first 5 chapters to 7 readers. Actually, 7 readers agreed to do it, and I'm so grateful to them. I'm part of 3 different writing communities, and pretty much I sent out like a blast Discord message saying, can someone read this? And 2 people out of every group that I reached out to said yes. That's 6. And then I also have my critique partner who reads like all my stuff, so that's 7. And I've gotten 5 out of the 7 feedbacks back right now. And it was really interesting because I told everyone to just give me the first impressions. I didn't have any specific questions in mind. I was just wondering, like, what do you think? Because I need to know. The beginning is so important. The beginning is crucial to a novel, especially because I'm indie publishing. Like, it has to be right. So that's why I sent it out just to as many people as I could, because I really wanted their impressions. I wanted to know what was working well, like glaring things that could deter a regular reader off the page. And yeah, everyone said like mostly different things, but one thing that was consistent, I think, was the stakes. Everyone had a unique perspective on the stakes, so I thought that was interesting. I think that tells me that I could dial up the stakes. I could dial up a few other things that might affect the stakes, right? So that's something that I'm going to be working on or focusing on. I'm currently not working on this project, so even though I'm doing all the cover stuff, I'm getting the feedback back, I'm not currently working on this book because I'm working on another book. So let's move on to the book I plan on trad pubbing. This one is a young adult fantasy, and I am currently in like knee deep in a rewrite. This is the second draft rewrite. The second draft I'm rewriting. I'm rewriting for the second draft. What am I saying? I haven't made a video in a while. You can tell because I'm like touching my hair. I'm really nervous. This book is written in 4 acts, and I'm currently in 3. I've been doing this rewrite in chunks of chapters for some reason. It's been helping me a lot with thinking about the story structure, thinking about how one chapter leads to another, and thinking it as a flow. This happens, like chapter 10 happens, and then chapter 11 happens. So that's why I like to work in chunks. So I'm currently working on Act 3, which is, I think, 18 to 23 right now. My chapters are still kind of not solidified, really, because the way I draft, I just write down everything that's going to happen in these sequence of chapters. And then I go back in and I make things more detailed. So we're at 10K words, about 10K words in Act 3. Oh, also, I'm writing completely out of order right now, because right now I'm like deep in trying to do the structural edits and the depth edits. And because I think of Act 3 as like one whole sequence of scenes, I just go whichever one I feel. Right now, in the moment, when I'm doing my light line level edits, that's when I think I'll work through in chronological order. But right now, because we're just doing these like major dev edits, it's easier for my brain to be like, I want to work on chapter 22 today because I worked on 23 yesterday, so I know how my main character feels in the end. Let's build up in chapter 22. So that's just like an example. And yeah, I'm never writing a fantasy again. This is not really... I'm tired of this book in a good way too, because I remember one question I always asked authors whenever I did like a signing or they did a panel. I always ask the question like, how do you know when the book is done? And now I know. You know when the book is done when you just poured your whole heart and soul into the manuscript and you literally cannot do anymore. That's kind of how I feel with this. I feel like even when I do get feedback back, because I do want 2 readers to read the whole thing before I query, I feel like I can't do much with the feedback because the story is so much what I want. Like the story, what it is right now is so much what I want. And yeah, you know, of course I'll address anything that comes up that's super major, but the benefit of having the 2 readers read through the whole book is really for my sanity, just to make sure that like there's nothing super glaring before I query. I'm really excited just to kind of be done with this. I mean, we're not quite there at the end yet. We still have one more act to write. The book is currently at, I think, 56K right now. And after I finish Act 3, after I finish Act 4, I think the draft's going to be around 73K, potentially 75. It'll be between like 70 to 75, I think. The sweet spot being 73, and I'm totally okay with that being my word count. My understanding is that agents are looking for like fewer word counts in their queries, in their manuscripts. Agents are looking for less. That's just what I've been hearing. So we're gonna make it work. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long. Sorry, I'm like rambling. It doesn't matter how long the book will end up being. I know I'm gonna be proud with the end product, and I'm just gonna query that whenever it's ready. I'll query that in November, I'll query that in December, like I don't care, whenever it's done, I'm just gonna query it. And yeah, that really is the goal for this draft. Once I finish Act 3 and Act 4, I'm gonna send it to my 2 friends, and once they give me back their feedback, I'll make any glaring changes, like I'll make that change, and then I'm just gonna query immediately because I'm ready to be done. Like I wanna move forward. I've been working on this book for like 5 years, 6 years, and let's get it out of my hands. I want to move on from it. So that's really what's been going on. I've been really trying to focus my whole attention on the young adult fantasy. I just want to be done with it so I can move on to the book I want to self-publish. I can work on book 2 in that series. And I also want to get back to my adult sci-fi. It's the first book I've ever written. I started off this channel talking about that book. And for a while, I was not sure what I was going to work on next in terms of my spec stuff. Oh, I forgot to mention, yeah, my young adult like spec stuff, the traditional publishing stuff is going to be published in my own name, and I want the self-published stuff to be published under a different pen name. So that's where I'm kind of going with my hopefully writing career. I don't even freaking know at this point. Yeah, oh my god, I feel like I just blew through these updates and I need a drink. So before I move on from writing, do I have any other updates? Oh, I do. I recently got a short story acceptance like the other day. I was honestly shocked when I saw that email because I had completely forgotten that I subbed. Like I literally had no clue I subbed. Blanketed mind. So many bad things have been happening to me that I think I just forgot. I genuinely forgot. So when I saw the email that I got accepted, I actually thought it was spam because I was like, there's no way. Like I didn't sub anything. Or I thought it was from like a year ago, like really more than a year ago because it's May right now, right? And I was like, when did I sub this? I subbed it like the last week of January and completely went to forget about it. So I was so excited. Like I was so happy. I don't think I've ever been like that happy to get a short story acceptance before, or any kind of acceptances before, because yeah, I think it's because I completely forgot about it. And I really like the one that got selected to be published. I'm actually running out of short stories in my backlist. I only have 2. One is, I think, like kind of dead. The other I think can be revived if I put some effort into it, some effort into subbing. I haven't really done that. But yeah, this one is called The Grass is Pinker on the Other Side, and it will be coming out in June. So yeah, this year has actually randomly been a good year for short fiction because my other story, Picture Day, is coming out also in June, July. I think you can still back that Kickstarter. I'll link it down below. Yeah, the Kickstarter was funded, so everything's kind of processing now, and I think that publication is June, July as well. So lots of summer publications. I'm really excited. These two stories are both sci-fi. Oh yeah, I wanted to say, the one that got accepted like a few days ago, The Grass is Pink on the Other Side, they asked me to write a short summary of my short story for socials. And I'll tell you, I'll share it. So mine is on a bright pink planet, on a bright pink alien planet, a mycologist finds themselves at a crossroads between integrity and discovery. Or maybe I wrote discovery and integrity, one or the other. And yeah, I'm really excited. It's a flash. Like, I read it through after I submitted it because I haven't read this short story in like 6 months. So I read it through and I was like, wow, it's actually really, really fast. It's really fast paced. I mean, it is a short, it's like 850 words, but I stand by it. I stand by this story, the Grass is Pinker on the Other Side, and also Picture Day. I think they're my strongest short fiction so far, so I'm really excited that they found homes. I really feel like I only want to write sci-fi stories going forward after this young adult fantasy. I guess an adjacent news is that I'm nominated for the Aurora Awards again, but not from a writer perspective, like not from like a contributor author, but for editing. So Augur issue 8.3 got nominated along with issue 1 and issue 2 from year 8. Mine is issue 3. So if you guys are unfamiliar, I used to volunteer at Augur Society. I stopped volunteering there for the time being, just taking a hiatus indefinitely. And I was the editor-in-chief, if you will, for issue 3 of last year. I didn't talk about it a lot on this channel last year because I was so burned out, and one can argue I'm still recovering from burnout. I think it takes like years to recover from burnout. But anyway, I'm really excited to be nominated again. Obviously, I'm gonna write all this in my query letter bio. So yeah, I think that's it for the writing updates. We are just focusing on the young adult fantasy, doing some light work on cover stuff for the self-publishing book, and the short fiction is like dead. Like I'm not actively subbing, I'm not actively writing. We're just entirely focused because my life is a mess and I can't do multiple things at once anymore. The idea of it like shrivels me up. I just can't be productive anymore. I think it's gonna take a while for me to get back to that kind of level. Okay, let's move on to reading updates. I read technically 5 books since the last time we spoke. I'm only gonna count 4. So the book I read after my last video is Off With Their Heads by Zoe Hanamakuta. Zoe's writing is like, I feel like I'm addicted to her writing. Like once you start, you can't stop. It's so lyrical. I wanted to read it because I've been wanting to read it for so long, but I've been wanting to read it primarily because I wanted to comp it for my young adult fantasy. Her book is about, it's kind of like an Alice in Wonderland retelling with a bit of Korean culture woven through the story. After reading the book, I don't think I can quite comp it as much as I had wanted to, just because her book leans slightly more towards horror, and she has really dark themes too. And that's kind of why I didn't want to comp it originally, because it's definitely aimed for upper YA readers. But I don't think I can anymore after reading it because it is a little bit too dark, too horror-y compared to my young adult fantasy. Also, my young adult fantasy is also a fantasy retelling. After I read her book, Zoe's book, I read my friend's book, actually, A.D. Sway's The Iron Garden Sutra. This one, okay, first of all, I just gotta say, I may be biased. No. What am I saying? I am just attracted to this author's writing. I have always been attracted to the author's writing. Their short story was either they won an award or they nominated an award, and this was a short story that I edited at Augur, and this was a short story that I discovered in the slush. Slush reading just means that you're reading through a pile of story submissions and you pick out, I don't know what other way I can describe it, but you pick out the ones that you think can move forward, can move onwards. So when I was reading through the slush, their story was one of the first that I was like, we need to take this further. So I think I might just have a natural affinity for their writing. This book is their debut novel, and it was so good. I finished it in like 3 sittings, which is a bit unusual for me. This one is a sci-fi novel about a death monk going to a generational ship, that's what they call it, one of the first ships to leave Earth, to pay homage to the people who had perished on the ship. And that's all I'm gonna say, because you should go into that story like not knowing anything. And then the third book I read after that is actually also another one of my friend's books. So I went to my friend's event for her debut book. It's a children's book. It's called Mr. Chow's Night Market by Emily Sun Lee. I met Emily through my Portland workshop. Was it called Tin House? Yes, they actually renamed Tin House to something else. But yeah, I met Emily through my workshop, and this is her debut novel. I went to her debut event and we read the book together.
We're gonna read the book. We're gonna talk a little bit throughout about our like behind the scenes process working together. And to my mom and dad, who always encouraged me to chase my dreams and let me sleep in, which is a very important part of my creative process. And to Nana and Yaya, whose story.
And we should definitely, just because it's a children's book, I'm still going to count it because she wrote it. She did so much work for it. It's such an amazing story. If you have children or you know of children between like 3 to 8, I think this would be a great book for them. It talks about, I have the book with me. I'm just not holding it up right now. How much do you save for a children's book? But what I really love about it is that it highlights Taiwan. Taiwan is where my parents are from, and I have a lot of close relations to Taiwan. Whoa. So it was so amazing to see the book come to life. It's something that is really close to me, and the artist herself is also from Taiwan, so highly recommend the book. Even if you're an adult, you can still enjoy it, but I think children will really, really enjoy it, especially if they don't know Taiwan that much and they want like a taste of Taiwan. Moving on to the next book, we have the one I just finished reading. This one completely destroyed me. This one is The Poet Empress by Shen Tao. Oh my god. I was thinking about this book for days after. I can't even describe it. Don't go into it knowing anything, but I'm just telling you, it wrecked me. It completely wrecked me. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, we need like an HBO series like with this book. Shogun, I feel like if we have something similar like that, like in a TV series format with this book. I wanted to read The Poet Empress mainly because I'm working on a fantasy, right? Young adult fantasy, and I like to do vocal training on Asian women written fantasy books. Don't spoil anything for those who haven't read it, but also leave some comments that are non-spoiler. And right now I'm currently reading Song of the Six Realms by Judy Eilen. I actually think this might be the better comp for me. I'm in the middle of chapter 3 right now, and I think it is the comp for me instead of Off With The Heads, unfortunately, because Off With The Heads, all the writing was so good. I was like, if only I can write like Zoe. And the other book that I technically read was my client's book. I think he made an announcement already, so maybe I can say it. My client's book, A Dance in the Dust, is coming out, I think in June too, so I was doing copy edits for his book. I read his book 3 times, and the book was like over 100K, so I'm not counting it though, but I did read it 3 times, just because I actually haven't copy edited in a while, and I really wanted to get his book right. I love his books. Like I think like client success #1 for my business, honestly. He's doing so well with his books. But anyway, I read his book, but I'm not going to count that. I never really count client books, but yeah, okay, maybe this leads well to the life updates. So pretty much I didn't write for all of March because I was working on his book. I don't work on multiple things at once now, as I kind of alluded to. I'm still going through burnout, and the idea of like waking up early and like sleeping late and just like staring at my desk, like writing, like I can't do it. Like it's just like too much like trauma around that right now. So I was only working on his book all of March, and for the first 2 weeks of April I was kind of just like recovering because I do work a full-time job, and it's hard. I think having a side hustle is hard, and I'm not about to like break my life for for anything anymore. So I was just like taking the 2 weeks to recover, because I was honestly nonstop working on his book. I read his book 3 times over the course of 1 month, like, and while doing copy edits. So anyway, I just needed a break. So I didn't really write the first 2 weeks of April, and then I wrote the second 2 weeks of April. So yeah, I actually wrote about like 10,000 words in 2 weeks after not writing for actually a month and a half, because I went to LA in February. I think I said that in my last video. I went like on the 19th or something, on the 20th of February. So I didn't write from February all the way until like April 15th. From February 19th to like yeah, it's like 2 months. So I was really proud of myself for like jumping back in right away, because your girl's locking in. We have to finish young adult fantasy. I can't do this anymore, as we talked about. So that's kind of what has been happening with the writing, but I haven't really been able to show up for it as much as I want, or show up to YouTube as much as I want, because we have a lot of horrible, devastating life stuff that has happened literally nonstop since I posted my last video. Like the week that I posted my last video until now has just been me getting like fucked over on every single part of my life. And I don't mean to like curse so dramatically, but it's true. Like the only really positive thing that happened between February and now, besides going to LA, which was kind of not that great timing, but was actually just celebrating my 1-year anniversary with my husband. But aside from that, I felt like I was being put into scenarios that I had no control over. Things were forced on me, like people were like forcing, not people, yeah, people too, scenarios, and people were like forcing my hand, and just adult stuff. Like I feel like I moved back to the US to have an easier life with my parents around, and I just feel like it hasn't been that. It has been even harder. My life has just like exponentially, I feel like, just dealing with adult stuff, health stuff too. There's a lot of health stuff happening with my family, and anyway, I just really couldn't show up. I was like depressed every day, and yeah, all areas, my personal life, like work life, like family life. Yeah, really the only silver lining is that I have Dimitri, or else also the cats, if they had like health things like during that period from February to now, I think I don't know what I would have done. I think it would have been bad for my mental health, like really bad. So I'm really glad that I think I'm coming back to being a little bit more creative, at least here on YouTube, and hopefully I would like to put out more videos. Sometimes I watch my old videos and you can tell just how much passion I had for video creation and video production, and it's nice sometimes to watch these videos back, when more time has passed. So I would like to get back into that, but we'll see. Yeah, I am moving, so we're moving out of this apartment. We're going back to my parents' house for the time being while we kind of figure out a new plan. It's very expensive to live here. It's like very, very expensive. This rent is $4,000. I don't mind talking about financial stuff. Also on a financial journey, so lots of stuff happening, and I think that's really all I wanted to say, just to give a quick catch up. Yeah, I would love to come back and make more videos. I don't know, like the idea of like working hard like stresses me out, and because so many things have been stressing me out, it's just not conducive. Like creativity has just been like squashed to zero. But we're working on the young adult fantasy, and yeah, I'm just repeating myself now. I think that's it. So if you have any questions for me, please leave them down in the comments. I would love to know how your projects are going. How are you guys doing? We haven't chatted. I feel like I abandoned this YouTube channel. Let me know something good that has happened to you since the beginning of the year. I feel like some positivity will really help me go forward and just move on from all these like negative things that have been happening. Okay, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.